I never thought I'd find myself in the position of plotting revenge against the person I had vowed to spend my life with. Love, trust, and loyalty had always been the pillars of my marriage, or so I thought. But that illusion shattered one ordinary Tuesday evening. Leaving behind nothing but the sharp edges of betrayal, it began subtly, almost imperceptibly. My wife, Zara, had been acting distant for a few months. She would answer my texts late, spend unusual hours at work, and sometimes, when we were together, her mind seemed elsewhere. At first, I chalked it up to stress, to fatigue, or even to the natural ebb and flow of a long-term relationship. But something gnawed at me, a suspicion I could neither shake nor ignore. The breaking point came when I noticed her phone. She always kept it close, always had an excuse if I happened to glance at it. I had never been the paranoid type, but curiosity mixed with unease became unbearable. One evening, as she was taking a long shower, I saw my chance. Her phone lay on the kitchen counter, unlocked. A quick glance, a few taps, and the truth hit me like a freight train. Messages, endless messages. Flirty, secretive, intimate messages from someone I had never met, but who was now an intruder in my marriage. My chest tightened, my hands trembled, and for a moment, I couldn't breathe. It was real. She had been seeing someone else. The depth of her betrayal was staggering. Every lie, every late-night excuse, every fabricated story suddenly made sense. My mind raced, oscillating between rage, heartbreak, and disbelief. I knew that confronting her immediately would be pointless. The raw emotion in the room would only lead to yelling, perhaps even tears, but no satisfaction. No, I wanted something more. I wanted to make her feel the weight of her betrayal, not through mere words, but through a moment she would never forget. A moment that would leave her speechless, stripped of the smugness she seemed to carry. Planning revenge became my obsession. I thought carefully, weighing every possible scenario. I didn't want to hurt anyone physically, nor did I want to destroy her life beyond repair. My goal was precision, a calculated strike that would expose the truth and let her face the consequences of her actions. The opportunity came in the form of her birthday, which was only a week away. I decided to throw a grand party, inviting all her closest friends, family, and unknowingly, her secret lover. I knew that revealing the affair in front of everyone would be the ultimate shock. The kind of public exposure that leaves a person stunned and speechless. For days, I prepared meticulously. I coordinated with friends to accidentally mention the affair, created subtle clues, and ensured that all the pieces were in place. The party was held at our house, decorated with flowers, lights, and music, the picture-perfect celebration of a life that had suddenly become a lie. Zara, of course, was oblivious, laughing and chatting as if nothing was wrong. Her confidence was almost comical. Almost. As the evening progressed, I waited for the perfect moment. Zara had just received her cake, surrounded by friends, when I stepped forward to make a toast. Glass in hand, I cleared my throat, drawing the attention of everyone in the room. "Thank you all for coming tonight," I began, my voice steady, calm, and deliberate. "This evening is special not just because we're celebrating Zara, but because it reminds us that life often has hidden truths. Sometimes the people closest to us are not who we think they are." There was a slight murmur in the room, but I ignored it, letting the tension build. I continued, my words slow, cutting through the cheerful atmosphere like a knife. "Zara, my love, or should I say, my betrayer, there's something we need to acknowledge. Secrets have a way of revealing themselves. Lies, no matter how cleverly concealed, always find the light. And tonight, that light shines on you." Her laughter died instantly. She looked at me, eyes wide, searching for reassurance that I was joking. But the expression on my face left no room for doubt. "I've discovered everything," I said. letting each word land like a hammer. The messages, the meetings, the calls. I know about your affair, and I've invited someone special tonight, someone who has been part of this deception, someone who thought they could remain hidden in the shadows. All eyes turned toward the back of the room, where I discreetly pointed. Her secret lover stood there, frozen, caught entirely off guard. Gasps filled the room. Friends exchanged shocked glances, and some whispered rapidly, trying to piece together what had just happened. Zara's face went pale. Her hand flew to her mouth, eyes darting from me to the man, then back to me. This can't be. She stammered, her voice trembling. I raised my glass again, my voice calm, almost serene. It is, and now everyone here knows, just as I do. This isn't about shame. It's about truth. You can't hide behind smiles or excuses. Every choice has consequences. She tried to speak again, to deny, to protest, but no words came out. She opened her mouth like a fish out of water, desperately grasping for a lifeline. But I had already stripped her of that safety. The room was silent except for the low hum of the air conditioner and the collective gasp of her friends. I stepped closer, my voice lowering so only she could hear. I didn't do this out of anger, I said. I did it because betrayal deserves exposure, because lies deserve consequences, because you need to see, just for one moment, the weight of what you've done. Tears welled up in her eyes, not just from shame, but from the realization that her carefully constructed world had collapsed in front of everyone she cared about. Her lover, too, had no defense, caught completely off guard, realizing that what seemed like a private thrill had become a public humiliation. For the rest of the evening, I maintained composure. I interacted with guests as if nothing had happened, all while Zara sat in stunned silence, unable to respond. She wasn't angry anymore. She was speechless, frozen by the very reality she had created. Each guest, consciously or unconsciously, took in the magnitude of her betrayal, and I could feel the justice of the moment radiating through the room. After the party, when the last guest had left, she finally broke down, her emotions spilling over in sobs. I didn't console her. I didn't need to. My revenge had been complete. Not through physical retaliation, not through cruelty, but through the power of truth. I had exposed her, made her confront her own choices, and allowed the weight of reality to speak louder than any words I could have shouted in anger. The following days were quiet, tense, and reflective. Zara didn't leave the house much, and our conversations were minimal. But something had shifted. She couldn't pretend anymore. There was no hiding, no secrets, no smiles that masked deceit. She had seen the consequences of her actions, and I had seen the person she really was. In retrospect, I realized that revenge isn't always about inflicting pain. Sometimes it's about creating a moment so powerful that it forces someone to confront their own truth. My party wasn't just about humiliation. It was about revelation, about demonstrating that betrayal has consequences and that no lie can survive under the scrutiny of exposure. I don't know what the future holds for us. Perhaps we'll part ways. Perhaps reconciliation is possible. But one thing is certain, that night will remain etched in both of our memories forever. For me, it was the night I reclaimed my dignity and refused to be a silent victim. For her, it was the night she realized that every action, every choice has a price. And that price can be far more devastating than any words, any confrontation, any fleeting moment of anger.